Baroness Bennett of Manor Castle.
My Lords, this week I had great pleasure in joining Mary Robinson, Chair of the Elders, and Nick Merriman of the Horniman Museum at an event with the UK Committee of the International Council of Museums. Our focus was on museums and libraries as thought leaders in the battle against climate change. And Dr. Merriman made the point that while they are often thought of as custodians of the past, in fact, their key place in our society is as inspirations for the future. And as someone who, I should perhaps declare, holds a reader's ticket for the British Library, that's something I've always found it to be. 6 years ago, I took part in an event inspired by the artist Monica Ross, a recitation of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in the British Library foyer, a very public exhibition of the importance of rights that were obviously, even then, under threats. It was a case of looking backwards to past success and forwards to the need to defend it. In 2008, the library held an exhibition titled Taking Liberties, The Struggle for Britain's Freedoms and Rights. And that was the first public place where I encountered the argument that I've used very regularly since, that universal basic income, guaranteeing the dignity of the right to the essentials of life without the need to rely on charity, was a logical place for human rights doctrine to reach. That the British Library is a crucial intellectual resource for the nation is a statement of the obvious. It must be properly funded by the nation to ensure it can keep up its comprehensive collecting remit and ability to share the riches thus collected. I hope that is an uncontroversial statement, although in the age of continuing privatisation, it needs to be said. An idea that was one day radical and way out there, contained only perhaps in a flimsy short-run magazine deposited in the stacks, may one day be a crucial seed that germinates to solve a problem to enrich the national fabric. The British Library must not be treated as a business, forced to turn, as our universities have increasingly been forced to turn, into competing commercial businesses, taking financial risks. I have to say that talk of commercial projects, as we heard from the Noble Baroness Lady Blackstone, makes me nervous. Business models, as we all know, have an unfortunate tendency to collapse, and we need to make sure that at the library, one of our national foundations, is in no danger of that. However, with considerable caution, acknowledging the view taken by the Library Board, I support this bill, but your Lordship's House, all of us as library readers and the whole nation need to keep an extremely close eye on the future funding from the centre of our government to the British Library, this other centre of our national life. Thank you, my Lords.
I call the next speaker,